Hello kids! Good morning! Are you ready to listen to our story? Do you have any idea what our story is all about? The story is all about Ching who is afraid of the dark. Why do you think Ching is afraid of the dark? Come on! Let's find out why. But before anything else, let us sing.
Let's sit down and get ready. It's time for storytelling. All our ears and all our eyes, let us keep open. It's time for storytelling, storytelling, storytelling. It's time for storytelling and ready to listen. It's time for storytelling, storytelling, storytelling. It's time for storytelling and ready to listen. Let's sit down and get ready. It's time for storytelling. All our ears and all our eyes, let us keep open. It's time for storytelling, storytelling, storytelling. It's time for storytelling and ready to listen. It's time for storytelling, storytelling, storytelling. It's time for storytelling. I'm ready to listen.
Ching who is afraid of the dark. Story by Aleli Du Batnag and illustrations by Paul Eric Roca from Adarna House. Ching is afraid of the dark. At night, he was afraid to go out into the dark yard. He was afraid to enter the edges without light. Until he fell asleep, he wanted to let the little light in the corner of his room shine. In Ching's mind, a kapre might come down from the top of a large mango tree in the dark yard. Or there might be giant tentacles that will grab him inside the dark room. His cousins were threatening him. They say, in the darkness appear evil spirits, ghosts, and other fearsome creatures.
Do not leave the house, Ching. The tikbalang might take you.
Brother John threatens him. As the morning comes, when the light shines, Ching's heart was strong again. He believes that light dissolves the malignant and its minions. When Ching's birthday came, his Uncle Ed gave him a small flashlight that included 2 batteries. Ching was overjoyed. When night came, he swung the flashlight into the darkness. The light of the flashlight draws in the darkness in the yard. He circled the round light on the walls of the room. He even holds the flashlight until he fell asleep.
You are scared of my light now.
Ching even threatened the unseen Maligni in the dark. Ching is more courageous now. One night, his mother left him alone at home.
Ching, my child, I'll just go to the store to pay off the debt, his mother said.
And his mother left. Later on, suddenly, it was dark. All the lights went out.
Brown out!
What a shock to Ching. He immediately gets his flashlight from his pocket and ching! The beam of the flashlight divided the darkness. But wait! The light of Ching's flashlight gradually dimmed until it lost its light. The battery is low. Ching was so scared. It's so dark, and his mother is not there with him. Ching just closed his eyes and waited for the cold and furry hands of the malignant to grab him. There they are! There they are! Ching whispered tremblingly as he sat in the dark. But when he opened his eyes, he was still alone. There is not even a shadow of the malignant. And Ching noticed he could gradually see the inside of the house. His eyes seemed to see clearly in the dark. He stepped slowly and he tripped over his scattered toy on the floor. His feet crawled towards the living room, and he noticed something glowing on the wall. The numbers on the big wall clock were flickering green. He also noticed something glowing on the plate on the table in the living room. The rocks and moss that his mountaineer aunt brought home to him when she climbed the Sierra Madre. They shine in the dark. He slowly stepped towards the door. He was suddenly terrified by what he saw. Two glowing little crystals floating towards him. Ching was shaken by fear.
Meow!
His pet pulled.
The cat's eyes were glowing in the dark.
Ching thought. He breathed a sigh of relief. Ching dared to come out of the yard. He could see the trees and plants. Candles flicker in their neighbors' windows. Ching looked up and was amazed at what he saw. Millions of stars twinkling, drawing attention to the blue-purple sky. Like millions of flashlights in the broad night. He also noticed that a star had floated and perched on a tree. And there are other floating stars. Fireflies, wing flares. It's so nice when it's dark. There's so much to see even in the dark. Amazed Ching said to himself. Sometime later, people shouted at the neighbors, and almost at the same time, the houses lit up, including Ching's.
The light's on!
That night, Ching no longer thought of the malignant in the dark. Before he went to bed, Ching opened the window slightly and said to his mother,
Please turn off the lights, Mom.
And Ching looked at the stars outside the window before he closed his eyes and slept soundly. And this is where our story ends. Did you like the story, kids? How about you? Are you scared of the dark?